We're waiting for the drop. Waiting for the drop. Ready to rock? Ready to roll into our next episode?
Yeah, we gotta give it another few minutes.
Why? What's up?
Just going live on any platform.
Just give it a minute or three. Everybody roll in here. So you know how things are live when everything is live when you have to wait.
You gotta ramp it up, you know.
And you have to wait for other things happening. So
the act of a concert never shows up on time.
That's right. Nobody shows up on time. I went to see the other day. What's his name? Jeff Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan. Jimmy Jeff. Why did I just call him Jeff? I just gave him like some I don't even know about it. I went to go see Jim, and it was
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I was just watching Jeff Bezos, and then thought about Jim Gaffigan, and it's like Jeff Bezos, Jim Bezos. I don't know. So we just intermittently swapped the two. But yeah, as you know, every single episode, we kind of open up with a new track. And because music's important. I think that music really kind of fuels the fire, man. Sometimes whatever you're doing. I mean, if you don't listen to music, I guess you're not that guy. But if you're not listening to music, you should probably start listening to music. And that's really how I feel about it. So that track is actually the track you're listening to right now is a remake of a song that's literally about 20. Oh no, it's like 2001. It's like almost a 30-year-old dance song. Now, this is a new version by Andy C. It's called Take Me Away. Andy C. remix from a few years ago. But it's such a good track. And it just drops heavy. And I went to go see Andy C. a few weeks ago. It was banging. And, yeah, man, it just... This track has been literally kept alive for about 20 years. The first version came out in 1991. At like house parties and stuff like that, but obviously they've kind of kicked it into high gear. But overall, the track has just gotten better and better. So Take Me Away, just type in Take Me Away Andy C remix. You'll definitely find it. Guy's a beast, man. 25 years I've been listening to this dude, and it was awesome. So they say, welcome. If you haven't seen us before, welcome to the Get It podcast. We get just about a little bit of everything. You get the news. You get the weather. You'll get business. You'll get hacks. You get life. You get life in a whole hour and maybe 10 to 15 minutes. As crazy as that sounds, you can get a dose of life. Now, it may not be your life. It might be our life or a bunch of other people's lives, but we're going to give you a dose of it anyway. So, without further hesitation, my name is David Scarpetta, and this is the one and only Hakeem. Hakeem, right? Is that the right? I want to make sure I'm saying it the right way.
Dude, how long have we known each other?
I don't know. Sometimes things happen. You mess up at something.
Yeah. I'll give myself the old,
sometimes I pronounce my last name two different ways.
Third. Oh wow, so. You're on my lower third. Or my lower third is on
your lower third.
Oh, you can't see that. Damn it.
So if you are on Instagram or mobile or any Snapchat or anything, and you're watching this right now, go to youtube.com/David Scarpetta or to Get It Podcast. You'll see you can actually see the other half of everything we're talking about. Otherwise, you're just kind of seeing my face and this interesting monitor and screen and his cool little arcade machine that I have here because everybody needs a little gaming in their life, you know. But yeah, so if you want to see the full version and kind of see the cutaways of what we're talking about and find detail, you know, then obviously feel free. But if you can't and then you only have mobile, then, you know, I totally hear you. And you could probably stream mobile from your device anyway. So the Get It podcast, we've been at this for a few weeks now. I think we're getting better and better. We've gotten a few hiccups, like technical hiccups, over the past few episodes. But I think, is that fixed now? Is that fixed?
I wouldn't call them hiccups.
Well, I mean,
say,
hiccups,
you know.
Hiccups are just, I mean, usually when people refer to hiccup, it's not something that's permanent, right? I mean, it's just like you hiccup a little bit.
I hiccup and I can't stop. So.
Well, you know, if you hiccup and you can't stop, that means that you're gonna have a heart attack. No, I'm serious, dude. That's a real condition. If you have like hiccups for more than like I think it is.
Dude,
like,
I had hiccups for like hours.
Okay, but like a day straight.
I don't know about a day straight. What was that?
I don't know, man. Somebody's trying to phone
That was
home.
a hiccup.
Yeah, it's a hiccup right there. But no, if you have hiccups, you look it up, dude. One of the symptoms, I think it's like some kind of like heart failure or something like that. I don't even know. Hold on a second. You know what? I'm gonna put on the big boy glasses. Hold on. I want to know what it is.
Do you know the scientific, like, what's behind hiccups? It's
Hiccups
like when the air gets trapped
for 24 hours.
It's when the air gets trapped.
What?
Just continually. I've always been curious, but not curious enough to look it up actually. But
so like long-term hiccups is. So a cause of long-term hiccups is damage or irritation to the vagus nerve or phrenic nerves, which serve the diaphragm muscle.
I recognize that.
Right?
That nerve.
What can chronic hiccups mean? With no medical treatment. Chronic hiccups.
Here, let me.
So you can have hiccups that last 48 hours defined as chronic, right? But supposedly, so chronic hiccup may be a symptom of gastrointestinal disease, which affects the stomach, the gullet. I guess that's this. I don't
The
even
gullet.
know. Large and small intestine. I'm not even sure what the gullet is. Liver, gallbladder, and
It's a
pancreas.
throat.
It is the gullet. Right? That's the gullet, right? The old
I'm gonna shove
gullet.
a sandwich down my gullet.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured, but it just sounded weird. Like out of everything, it didn't really, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a hugely scientific.
Yeah,
term.
it doesn't seem scientific. So Crohn's disease, stomach ulcers, hepatitis,
Like
and appendicitis.
Scientific. What'd you say?
Yeah, dude, look at this. It says some medications are linked to chronic hiccups. These include drugs and combinations such as chemotherapy and steroids. There's another thing I don't. It's not this article. I don't remember where I read it, but if you have hiccups for more than 24 hours, you might be fucked. I'm like, it's a serious problem. Like, especially if you're not eating anything, right? I mean, if you're not really eating anything,
Right.
why would you have chronic hiccups?
I usually stand on my head.
You stand on your head. You do some breakdance moves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but if you stay on your head because your hair's so long now, right? Like I was just looking at this guy's hair before. This is actually, it's pretty funny. I feel like we reversed roles. Like when I first met this dude, this guy's hair was shorter
really
than
long.
my hair. Like totally shorter than my hair. And my hair was long. If you look at my old videos, you see my hair is really
Yeah.
long.
I don't know what
Down
to
to
do
my,
with it.
I'd say down to my chin. But this guy's
That's what
hair.
I mean, I
Look at-
like it.
And
I like
now,
it.
and now my hair
I
is
don't
short.
even wash it
Look at this.
too much because
Look.
my hair is very thin. Like Asians come from a very thin-haired, kind of section of the human population. So
Yeah, but at
by
least you
not
get it
washing
straight.
the oils and the grease naturally build up and
You know
create,
what?
like,
It just sounds better when you say oils.
consistency.
When you say grease, I think about like, when you're driving a car and like some like street grease that like kicks
or
up.
the
It never sounds good when you say the
or
word
the
grease.
play, the grease show.
Like
I've
who
never
wants to
seen it.
cook with grease? When was like cooking
Greasers.
grease? Grease is like the
You're
byproduct.
from New York, right?
Of course I
Like,
am.
people use grease all the time.
No, they don't use grease. This isn't the Roaring '20s, dude. No one's using. No one's using grease. The
Dude,
greasers.
I use grease for everything.
You use
You know.
oils. You use like coconut oil, coconut. I guess the
Everything needs to be
compound.
greased.
It's not. I mean, It just doesn't sound good. Grease. Like what is
Lathered? Is that better?
I mean, what is it? What's that other word I'm looking for, man? Can somebody help me out there?
Oiled, greased, lathered.
No, like when you have a solids. That's it. Coconut solids. Like if it's a solid, like like coconut cream or coconut
Speaking
solid.
of coconut.
Oh yeah. We actually have a coconut here. I have a fresh coconut. Okay, I was able to find one, packaged up, and I'm gonna try to open it up in a little bit. I haven't had any luck. I don't know if I have the right tools for the job, but I'm gonna do it when I'm done with my tea here. Spiking on my green tea a little bit. Oh man, I love when it gets a little colder out and I can drink these hot drinks without being hot. Like it's the best. Like it genuinely is the best. Like you can drink the warm drinks.
Let me see.
So speaking of heating things up, so we
sure.
started heating things up with our previous episodes, and so today we're gonna go through a few things, and we'll start. Usually we talk about business too, things on the net, and specifically digital because we're digital guys, and we talk about stuff on the internet. And one of the things that happened recently, over the last few days, is that someone got their own .gov website by pretending to be a small-town mayor and filling out a form.
Oh, we're going straight into the story?
Yeah, I want to go into the story. I want to go dive pretty deep, and this is pretty interesting stuff.
I thought we were going to go Black Friday first.
No.
Okay.
We'll roll it back. We'll roll back to Black Friday.
Ads.
Yeah, everybody knows about the Black Friday chaos.
Uber ads. Here, hang on.
We're rocking the... That's why I said install...
No. This Uber ad is like.
Oh,
it's like
jeez,
on the website.
Louise.
Look at that.
Do you have the ad blocker on?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like it's like.
Oh, it's
really
following
sneaky.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, it is pretty sneaky. See, that's how digital marketers do it now. We do it
Because
pretty
I can't
sneaky.
even see the title, unless I. Oh wait, yeah, there it is.
There's.
So someone got their own .gov by pretending to be a small town mayor and filling out an online form.
Yeah.
Is that how easy it is?
So basically, somebody found this small town city. They used a Google Voice number. Look how hardcore this was. This is what I'm talking about. This engineering is insane nowadays. So you're able to get a .gov. So .gov, just to give everybody an understanding. So, and I teach this stuff. So you can get a .com, a .net, a .org. You can get a .us if you are a resident or a business owner in the United States. You can get .co, You can't get a .edu unless you're a certified educational. I think you have to provide some type of documentation, and you can't get a .gov unless you are officially some kind of government body. So this dude used a fake Google Voice number and fake Gmail address, okay? And then, which reportedly cleared the government authorization process. Now, I don't know what that process looks like, but obviously it can't be that good because this guy got through with a Google Voice number and a random Gmail address. So that's where we are in the world. And it's funny. I assume there would be, the guy who reported on this, I assume there would be at least ID verification. The deepest research I need to do was the Yellow Page records. Dude, that's crazy. And then, so in this article...
Wait, how long ago was this?
This was just like... This is like about a week and a half. Yeah, it's like a week and a half ago, dude. Yeah. I mean, because we went on a little holiday, we went on some Black Friday action. But it goes to show you, dude, that, the internet, there is no...
Are you gonna try something?
No, I'm not going to try something. There's other people who do stuff like that. I don't need to do that. Listen, I'm clean and serene, all right? I mean, I'll do digital marketing, I'll do video.
I'm assuming it's illegal to, sell .gov, right?
Well, it's illegal technically. Oh, I don't know what the legalities are specifically, but I know you're not supposed to register a .gov if you're not like an actual .gov. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that what the fuck are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? Think about
Oh.
it. Like,
Sell it.
what are you gonna do?
Make some
Are you gonna
money.
start a new mayor? So if the real mayor right here, like I used to have jokes with friends and be like, oh hey, like my friend Mike, it's kind of like I call him like the mayor. I'm like, hey man, you like the mayor, right? And I'm like, because he just knows everybody and he's always talking to people and he's like the man about town. And I feel like you could just become your own mayor now if you do it the right way. If you get yourself a Google Voice number and you set up a nice Gmail
What would you be the
account,
mayor of?
you could do these things too. You too.
What would you be the
Okay.
mayor of?
I was gonna say Christmas Town, but that would be too easy because it's the holidays. What would I be the mayor of? These are the questions in life that are perplexing because you never really think about it because you're like, oh, I want to be the president, which I really don't ever. And you think about like, well, I could do a better job, but I want to be the mayor. What would I want to be the mayor of? Let me take a look. Maybe like Middle Earth. Maybe I could be the mayor of Middle Earth. It seems
Hate to
really
break it to
happy
you,
down
but-
there in New Zealand. I mean, that's where it took place, but I don't know if it's like really New Zealand.
I'm gonna be the mayor of Mars.
Mayor of Middle Earth, because everything. Go back to the
mayor
Shire.
Of Mars.gov.
Middle Earth.
Mayor of
MiddleEarth.gov.
Middle Earth. Alliteration. It's catchy.
You never really think about these things. If you think, like, who really thinks about being the mayor? I feel like that's if you even think about for a second, and that goes to show you how worthless that position is. Because I feel like no one ever really says I want to be the mayor of something. Like growing up, but it was like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, a doctor, the president. I mean, and then no one really says I want to be in the Senate. No one wants to see I want to be Congress. What basically happens is like you just can't be any of those things, and you just wind up becoming the mayor. Because it's like, oh, okay, well, let me start at that level. Let me start being a mayor. And I feel like no one really wants to be the mayor. Like whose goal is that to like be the mayor?
I mean, you could raise up in the political.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Game.
Like,
that's
yeah.
pretty much what it is. Right?
But then you got to answer to the governor, which is really crazy because if you think about it, Mayor Giuliani. You've heard of Mayor Giuliani, right?
Mhm.
But he's like Trump's sidekick, right? And he was the mayor, but he never became the governor. And the governor is like higher than the mayor, right?
Does every state have a governor?
I would say so. I'm not, I'm really not the best person to talk politics with about the body of politics.
I don't really want to make this podcast about politics.
But
You kinda
I'm just
lectured
saying
me
it's
last
kind of
time
a
for even bringing up a little bit of
yeah. I'm just saying it's like it's not
joking about politics.
it's
and
not
shit.
a position. It's not a position that we're all looking to be in. I feel like
No, I mean, theoretically, mayors have issues that they address within certain areas, and like that's sort of. I mean, there's a hierarchy to it, but
I guess yeah.
you get to voice your. I don't know, any role like that has a a media persona to it. Like you're in the public and
Yeah.
that's sort of what it is too.
You got. I mean, yeah. I guess you get the public eye, but like I don't know. Mayor just sounds weird. It just reminds me of like Frosty the Snowman around this time of year when that Frosty. Everybody watched the Frosty cartoon.
I think
The evil mayors, the guys, they try to like take away Frosty's hat.
Hungry mayor of Monopoly.
Yeah, look, the Monopoly mayor. Yeah, no, you know what? Mayor's got to get a bad rap. Nobody wants to be the mayor. So, which I guess is why.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Well, which I think it rolls it back
Mr.
to the
Peanut
fact that it was
Butter,
so
I don't know
easy
if
for him to get a .gov.
You've seen that show, BoJack Horseman? I've been binging it.
I've
lately.
seen a
It's
few times.
amazing. Oh, it's so good. And I just
You
got
talking
done
about
with
what's
the
his name?
episode.
Ed what? What's his name? Ed what? The guy who plays the voice?
Ed.
No, not Ed.
No.
I think
Will Arnett.
Will
He's-
Arnett.
he's
I'm thinking
great
of Ed
as BoJack.
Asner.
And
Will
it's just did I say Will Arnett?
The what?
Did I say Will Arnett?
Yeah, Will Arnett.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't talk. Today.
No, he's great. He's great in it. And it's very much, based in LA, and kind of brings up all the all the issues of being in
I
the
watched the
entertainment
first
industry,
season.
and it's great. The third season's amazing, but you know, the
That's a
character
Netflix exclusive, right?
Mr. Peanut Butter, the character, the dog character.
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to spoil it for you.
No,
then.
you're gonna spoil. You spoil a little bit. Wait, have you
Highly
watched
recommend.
all 3 seasons so far?
They just came out with a 6th season. I think
Wow, it's been on
Netflix
that
is
long?
doing. Yeah, I was super surprised because I was like, oh, I've heard about this show and like, but I've been meaning to catch up, and I was like, oh shit, they're already on season 6. Like that's crazy. But they're not releasing it all at once. They're releasing the first part.
Yeah, dude, I was
beginning of
I
the
was
year
pretty
and then
excited
the
that
second
the
at
guy
the end.
from Arrested Development was doing the voice of that, of Mr. Horse, because he
Yeah.
reminds me of a character from Ren and Stimpy from back in the day called Mr. Horse, and it's just like I guess
It sounds like
he is a horse.
a silly show, but it's actually like thing about it is every little thing is, you know, like if you forget something from the first season, like it'll come back and you'll be like, oh, like they brought that back. Like everything is a continuation. Like you would think an animated show might not really be like a full enclosed story that like continues and has continuity and everything, but it's like it's pretty much
He's like a drinker too, right? Like he's like a
he's
little bit of an alky.
alcoholic.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic.
And
If
he's
I remember, I was
washed
like the alcoholic,
and-
like horseman, horse.
But there's
guy,
some
man.
some plots that that let's say are super relevant, and you know you could tie to like political things that happen and current events and celebrities that you know. I think it was in the first season where that like Lindsay Lohan type character. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
What was her
yeah.
name?
I watched the first. I genuinely remember watching the first season when it first came out. I'm like, oh, I thought again. I thought it was like one of the characters from. Well, I found out who was doing the voice, which was Will Arnett from Arrested Development. When I love Arrested Development, and then it just reminded me of the character from Ren and Stimpy, which is Mr. Horse. And Mr. Horse was always like the kind of sarcastic, like nonchalant, like not really sure what's happening, kind of like wondering what's going on character. And he had that same demeanor at first. I'm like, oh, this would be interesting. And I started watching, and it was kind of cool.
It's
But I
deep.
feel like
It's
I feel like it didn't develop, and it kind of fell off. And then honestly, outside of that, not saying that was bad, but there's been such a spill of content, like so much being thrown at you in Netflix now, like from when Netflix first started, like their streaming service to now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
I think
much.
we did
man.
touch on this, and the biggest problem I have with Netflix is how like sort of what you're touching on, the organization of their homepage and being able to like this past
You gotta
few
remember
years,
you're watching stuff. Sometimes I was like, oh, that's right, I'm watching, and then sometimes they pull stuff off, and you're like, you don't even get to finish watching it because they yanked it. I mean, nothing that's like that they produced, but still like a show that maybe you were starting to get into, and then all of a sudden they took it off.
Yeah, and then
you know?
shows what people are talking about. You're like, oh, like I can't find this. Like it's not easy for me to find, so why I'm not gonna take the trouble to go watch it. And I mean, there's billions of hours of content on Netflix that most people aren't even watching because they just don't know
Yeah,
about
dude.
it.
I mean, unless you're like sitting in front of the computer or whatever, you're watching for like literally from. Don't mind me while I eat some pineapple.
Yeah.
'Cause I need to,
Also, I've been noticing with
Pineapple
Netflix,
weather.
like I mean, this is sort of a tactic from them too, is it literally, if you're not within a few feet from your controls, whether it be keyboard or if you're watching on PlayStation or whatever, like you're not going to make it at the end of the episode in time to stop it.
Stop it, and it just automatically starts playing.
Literally, like I still watch it from my computer, and I have trouble clicking the stop button before the next episode can play. And
Speaking of
it's
stop button, don't stop. I'm just gonna get something.
all right. Okay. Stalling. The weather. You know, the weather's great, right? Anyway, I guess like I want to talk about some stuff, but I don't know if I should start talking about it now or if I should wait. Because I have some thoughts on the Golden Globes that just got announced, but
Does anybody even know what the Golden Globes are?
Yeah. I think most people do.
So
Most people know what the Golden Globes
okay,
are.
I would like to have everybody just raise their hand real quick. I'll raise their hand. Make a comment and be like, who really knows what I know what the Academy Awards are, but who
It's
really
like the
knows what the
younger
Golden
brother-
Globes are?
The younger brother of the Academy Awards. It's
what?
like it's
the what?
it's getting you into because the Academy Awards aren't until like February, late February, and people are like I feel like that's late in terms of like the movies that have come like the year before. For example, like it's like the Academy Awards aren't going to happen for like 2 months, and like people are already going to be moving on to like the next 2020 movies.
But I feel like the award ceremonies now are like whatever.
Now it's just. I
It's
mean,
like
I think
staged.
people like
Half
to
of
go
them
back
staged.
and I mean, it's nice to have that achievement for people. I'm assuming, like with any genre, like if you're winning a Grammy or an Oscar or whatever, like it's like the top of that field, I guess. But
Do you know?
at the
You know
same
they
time,
like.
it doesn't like
Do you know
it
there's
doesn't-
Do you know that like the
make you
Academy
successful.
Awards are like all that stuff is, it's all like, fake, right? It's all like already predetermined.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
well,
it is. There's
to
a
certain
doc.
extent.
There's
Like,
mini
a
docs on
certain-
it.
There's a certain group of people that the Academy that votes on it, and I'm sure they have their biased opinions. And every year, it's like the same type of movie. I don't think it's like exactly predetermined. I just think like there's a specific type of movie that the Oscars like, to shout out, and it's frustrating because after The Dark Knight got snubbed from the Oscars, like they tried to like reel it back and say that
They really snubbed it.
yeah,
I didn't even know that. Why? What was the reason behind that?
They just it's a superhero movie, and that was like the first time
How is that a
like-
superhero movie?
because it's Batman.
Yeah, but it's not really about Batman. It's like
It is. I mean, it is.
Well,
But like, it's,
but the
it's
Batman's not even in the movie.
The Dark Knight.
No, I'm not not the Dark Knight. I'm not thinking about. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Joker. That's where my brain's at.
No. Yeah, this was years and years and years ago.
Okay.
Actually, I have thoughts about Joker. I didn't like Joker. And
You
that's,
didn't like Joker?
And that's a movie that actually got nominated. So I'll just bring up the Golden Globes right now for those of you who haven't seen it. But it did get nominated at the Golden Globes for Best Picture, and I don't think it's okay. Here's why. I'll change over to the page here.
No way, dude.
So the Joker got nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama, and
Totally.
I guess based on my expectation, it's a fine movie.
It's a fine
It's a
movie.
fine movie about.
What are you, like a British, sipping a cup of British tea? It's a fine movie.
It's fine.
very fine.
It's okay. It's about a kid who has mental issues, who has a really fucked up past, and people don't listen to him, and like I totally
When I think of
get
fine
how that's
movies,
a compelling story. I get how it's a compelling story, but as a Joker film, like from what I wanted it as a Joker film, like he stumbles his way to sort of being this icon, for all the, and I guess spoilers for, I mean, should I, I guess I'll give vague ideas of what the Joker's about.
but you know what? It doesn't make a
he's
difference
sorta-
because it's fine.
It's not great. Did you see it?
Of course I did.
Okay.
I wouldn't be making comments if I just thought it was fine.
But
I just
so
thought it was
here's
beastly.
here's my criticism with it, and
Okay.
and comment if you agree with me either way or disagree,
Oh,
because I want to know your opinion. But like the Joker is a mastermind. He's supposed to be smart. He's supposed to know things like several steps ahead of him. This Joker that they portrayed as just like a regular dude who they kind of like shoehorn the
regular
idea
Joker?
of how he's connected to the Bruce Wayne, and there's this whole
A regular
subplot
old-time
of
Joker?
his mom like having like connections with him, but like, dude, he's not smart. He's just like a pissed off kid dealing with mental issues that gets to the top, and all of a sudden, he's like the icon for these crazy people.
But
like,
that's his birth story though. That
dude,
was his.
It shouldn't have been
flipping
called
point.
Joker. If it was a story about just any
Well-
crazy kid that And I don't believe all the criticism that like, oh, it's gonna lead to like all this violence, and kids are gonna get ideas. Like,
no,
I don't agree with all that.
I mean, you can say that about anything. You say that about video
it's
games.
like,
You can say that about
it's about
anything.
a real issue, and I do agree with the point that maybe we shouldn't ignore signs from people. Maybe they're depressed or they're not doing well and they don't have anywhere to like.
Well, I don't know
feel
if the
that
movie was
connection.
made based on that, but like anybody.
No, dude, it's literally. Why does it have to be a Joker movie? Explain that to me. Like, why does the
Okay.
Joker need to be in this movie? And the performance was great. I like Joaquin Phoenix, as an actor. He's one of the greats.
You
But-
just don't like the. You don't like.
But the Dark Knight Joker will never be topped.
Yeah,
will
but the
never be
the
topped.
Dark Knight Joker. Okay, so if you think about who, so I grew up watching the original Batman movie, right? With what's his nuts?
Michael Keaton
Michael Keaton and
or the other one.
the Joker is played by here's Johnny, that guy. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched The Shining movie too. That was
So exactly, it's a great movie. So it's really hard to top that character, his version of the Joker. In fact, even like Heath Ledger, right? He was a guy.
Yeah.
So Heath
Dude.
Ledger, who's like, oh, he put his life, and then we had this conversation. Oh, he put his whole life into being the Joker, and he tried to live up to like and be better
He
than
transformed
Jack
himself.
Nicholson. I
And
actually
that's-
don't think that's what actors
like,
do. Actors
like
transform
Joaquin Phoenix
themselves.
didn't transform as much as Heath Ledger did for the Joker.
Well-
Like, I could not recognize Heath Ledger. I could not separate the actor from that. From the character. Whereas
Yeah,
in the
that's
Joker,
because
like,
Joaquin
it's
Phoenix in
Joaquin
real life
Phoenix.
is fucking nuts. So he's
Yeah,
he's
he's
real.
good.
So,
He's
so
good.
because that's
He's
how you
good.
know, because like he goes to interviews and
good.
just sits there like awkwardly and stares at people and then says one like retorts with like slightly like you're not sure if he's pissed off or condescending or you don't really know what's going on. You know.
I don't think it deserves the Best Picture nomination.
I don't know if it
I think
deserves
it's-
Best Picture, but I will say it was an excellent movie because it put together because to become a crazy serial killer mastermind, like what goes through the head of a human being, like how
What
is
did
the
he do
fracture?
that
How
was
does
intelligent?
how does the basically it showcases how does the human persona become so fractured and frail and just like and then winds up going from like he was really trying to do his best, like he was just a normal guy down his luck whatever, and then he was just like okay, he just snapped and then he just became this person, and again he wasn't like the spokesperson for all the bad guys or like all the like we'll call it the really far out there people who are just like, oh yeah, this is all the fault of X or Y. But it was definitely like a progressive thought process from his. He's just like, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and like he's getting attacked left and right. He's getting physically attacked. He's getting mentally attacked, and he's like,
Right.
then he finds out about his mom. So he breaks. He physically breaks, and yeah, you know what? Maybe he's not a mastermind right now, but it's his early development story. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm
there's
I'm
nothing
running
in
the
that
whole
movie
show.
that
Like he
really,
just started it.
that even gives me a hint that he could become like he's not intelligent. At
Why
any
would
point.
you say he wasn't intelligent?
Like
How do you know
there's
he's not
nothing,
intelligent?
Like
He was
he-
intelligent.
like someone. I mean, I
Hey,
don't
you
want to
ca-
get into spoilers here because some people.
Yeah,
may
but you're
watch
talking
this,
about
but,
like course of
people
action.
give him stuff and like he never like figures stuff out like the Joker, like in that hospital scene in The Dark Knight, like just
Yeah,
you
but
just
he was already. But you don't know
pulling the
how long. Yeah, but
strings.
you don't know how long he was the Joker for already. He could have been the Joker for like 10 years by the
Dude,
time it happened.
What like
You
the
don't
Joker
know
in this
that.
movie
This
was
was
like 40s whatever.
Yeah, but
like,
this was like the creation of the persona of who
and
is
I get
the
it.
Joker.
I get it. It's a interpretation. It doesn't have to be.
And then
exactly
at
based
the
on
end,
its
at the end,
comics.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but at the end, you can see how he already masterminded his way out. Right?
Debatable.
Yeah, but you keep on the time channel, like you're not relating it to like, okay, well, the Dark Knight, he starts here versus okay, he starts over here. And like, yeah, it's a totally different movie with a different concept per se, but I definitely like the idea of like where he was just a normal guy who wasn't really that, he didn't have luck in life on his side, and he became, he just snapped, man. I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I actually didn't have a lot of faith in it. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be so whack. And then I watched it, and I was pleasantly
it was
surprised.
visually great, like in terms of like I liked how they sort of recreated that.
Dude, what about the part? I don't even want to get away. I was like, what about the part when they're doing that little skirmish in the room, and it's like, hey, can you help me with the door?
Oh yeah. That's a huge part. So
Dude,
that's funny. That was fun.
Dude, that was great because it goes to show you that he wasn't initially a bad person. He was just tired of what the world was throwing at him, and he just snapped under the pressure, not being able to, because he didn't have any mentors, and he didn't have the knowledge. He didn't have knowledge.
And I loved how they, especially during because it's about a stand-up comedian that thinks he's funny, and he like laughs at like all the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
we've all been there. Where like.
Well, I haven't been there as a stand-up comedian. I don't know if I should.
No,
try
that
to do
like
that
everyone
make
like
jokes during the day.
You have that differentiation between yourself and like a crowd, and maybe you're sort of embarrassed about that. But how they portrayed the stand-up comedy stuff was pretty spot on.
So speaking of crowds, moving along. So
wait, can I just finish the whole Golden Globes?
Oh, okay. You want to talk about how this?
So I just want to, for people who haven't
Globes
seen it.
I'm not sure what it is.
We have 1917, The Irishman, The Joker, Marriage Story, and Two Popes for Best Picture Drama. And it's interesting because The Irishman is definitely is obviously a Netflix movie, but they had that theatrical run to qualify
weeks.
for for Oscar consideration.
3 whole weeks.
I'm just curious, like, are people willing to spend that amount of time in a theater to watch a 3-hour movie? And I think, like, this is a 3.5-hour movie.
Of course.
Like,
dude,
people are just seeing that runtime will probably make people a little hesitant about.
This is okay, folks. All right.
More willing to watch it on Netflix. All right.
This is it, folks. I'd rather go see a 3.5-hour movie. You know why? Because I gotta spend like between like a half a bucket of popcorn, half drink soda, and 2 tickets. I gotta spend like $60 or $70. Like, that's what you're spending. Like, you walk in, two people walk in, and you're getting
quick plug
a snack
for AMC A-list here. You do get actually free popcorn at times. Free little.
Yeah, but you know what? That actually wasn't on AMC. It wasn't like most of them were independent theaters. It wasn't AMC. It wasn't Edwards. The Irishman didn't play at any of those.
You're right. Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
I saw it in Seattle, at some independent theater, which was nice, and it was I'll show pictures of some cool popcorn, like chocolate. It was like chocolate cocoa covered popcorn. Though the cocoa was a little overdone after you eat like 5 pieces.
Wow.
It gets a
Here
little.
You are
much.
talking about concessions.
Yeah. So, but anyway, like I was saying before, is like you're going in, you're spending almost $50 to $60 for 2 people, some refreshments, and a half-ass comfortable seat.
Shout out AMC for having recliners.
You and AMC, are they paying you?
I'm just telling you, man. Like,
okay,
they're reviving the theater experience.
Okay, well, you know what? Not everybody has an AMC close to them. Not everybody wants to go to AMC to see movies.
Other chains are doing that as well. I mean,
well, that's I know, but then like, who do you pay?
What's gonna save theaters?
But that's the thing. That's the problem. Then the other chains are trying to do it as well. So here we got the same thing when we talked about like a few episodes ago. It's like, okay, well, I got 4 streaming services, so now I'm paying more than watching like cable TV. How many subscription services will be beneficial. If this AMC doesn't get it and Edwards get it, or ArcLight gets it and this doesn't get it, like, whatever, like, theater chain that in part of the country you're in, like, what are you gonna do? Like, and you feel you're like, oh, this sucks. Like, I want to see this movie. Sometimes they won't get it. Sometimes they won't play. Sometimes they have restrictions. I mean, it doesn't become cost effective anymore. So anyway, back to say what I was saying is this: like, for a 3-hour movie, 3.5-hour movie, I actually welcome that. And if the movie's 3.5 hours and it's phenomenal, and I'm not bored, and I don't want to go in there with the thought process like, oh, this movie's gonna suck. For 3.5 hours, I want to be entertained. And let me just tell you, man, the 3.5 hours in The Irishman fly right by.
I agree.
Fly right by.
It's probably number 2 or 3 on my list.
Fly right
year.
by. And you know what? All their movies are like that. All the Goodfellas, Casino, Godfather, like all those mafia films.
They're not 3.5 hours though. They're probably 3.
Okay, like 3 hours and 15 minutes. 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Dude, there's a thrushhold there.
Except Dances with Wolves. If you want to watch Dances with Wolves for 3 hours, it's a totally different story.
Like people, and I've heard people complain about the runtime, but like from my perspective, like Avengers Endgame was like almost like above 3 hours, and then especially when they're at home, they're like people binge like 6 hours at a time. Like
I can't.
Crazy.
I wish yeah.
Like
well,
I know people
that
have watched like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of of Netflix. Like I was saying, just because Netflix like plays it so immediately afterwards that you're just like, I'll watch one more episode. I'm lazy.
Well, yeah,
like, I don't want to.
You could literally spend a whole day watching like a whole series.
That's the benefit of, or yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a benefit or not, because now you've literally like have cut off everything else that you need to do in life to watch 8 hours of Netflix.
But props to Scorsese. Irishman was great. I really liked the latter half because it was like you had the beginning, which is like very much action packed, and then the end was kind of like a little more like introspective. He was kind of like looking.
Well, we don't want to give it away. We don't want to give it away.
That's not giving it away. Like people know that. That it has that.
Well,
Scorsese's like
people know that it might be their last movie altogether, and that's why it's even better. Because the thing is like how much longer these guys are gonna live? Because how old is Al Pacino?
Dude, that de-aging though, that was pretty crazy.
How old?
They made Robert De Niro look like he was
Al Pacino. Dude, Al Pacino
30s,
is 79 years old, bro. Robert De Niro is 76. Al Pacino is 79.
My grandfather.
What's the other
Could be
guy's
your
name?
father.
No, he's older than my dad.
Yeah.
He's older than my dad by like 8 years, 8, 9 years. Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy, dude. Like, if you think about it, like, Joe Pesci, 76. So, yeah, these guys, I mean, they could pop off tomorrow. They could pop off tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, this is a great sort of inclusion of all of them into
I mean, if you think about it, what other movie could they possibly make together? They tried to. I forgot.
This the first time that
there was some movie that came out
Al
a few
Pacino
years
and,
ago
like,
where it was like they were like criminals and like Morgan Freeman was in it and a bunch of. It was like really cheesy. They're trying to be like a comedy, and it was like serious comedy where like a bunch of bank robbers and they were all old. I forgot it.
I don't know.
It was really kind of a shitty movie. Oh, look, Morgan Freeman's 82. Wow, dude, this is old Hollywood. Old Hollywood. Crazy. I don't even know what to say. It's crazy.
Yeah, but back to just the entire list of movies. Like, I feel like it's a very specific type of movie. Like 1917 is a World War One movie. Or wait. No. World War II movie. The Irishman is, from a acclaimed director of the past. Marriage Story is sort of that drama, very like real drama about. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's very grounded in like like a divorce. The two popes, like all these movies, just sort of sound. Aside from the Joker, I think, because like, and that's interesting that the Joker got nominated, but like it seems like both the Golden Globes, who nominates movie or who votes on movies? I think it's
it's this.
the Academy of fucking.
Oh, it's
what
this
is it?
horrible movie that was out. It's called Last Vegas in 2002. It was Michael Douglas, De Niro, Freeman, and it was called Las Vegas, and it was like an older actor movie that had De Niro in it. I'm just like, this is like it was like trying too hard. It was trying to be funny, and then like there were a bunch of old school criminals in Vegas, and like Morgan Freeman's in a shopping cart.
Hollywood Foreign Press Association. That's who votes on the Golden Globes.
Who?
Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Yeah, and it's
So
like
I feel
the
like
same
it's
five
still
guys.
like it's still. I'm assuming yeah, just like old white voters that vote on that, and they're trying to be of the time and try to not. But like all of these movies like star white people, and I'm gonna raise the flag for just getting more diversity in these movies. Like none of these Best Picture nominations are lead people that are other than white.
Yeah, but I don't. What do you mean? I mean, how do you figure?
And what do you mean they are? Like all of these are like the
Okay.
lead actors are white. The
Well, it's 'cause
people
they have a good
directing
movie.
it are white.
Yeah, and the people producing the movie are not white.
What do you mean? People producing the movie are white.
Not necessarily, no.
What are you saying? Producing as in what?
Producing is forking up the money, and like Hollywood is not white.
I'm sure
Huh.
the producers are white too. Sam Mendes, white, old white.
The
guy.
last name is Mendez. What does that get to? What does
He's
that?
a
What does
white
it have to
dude,
do?
bro?
What does that
come
have
on.
to do with like diversity?
Dude,
diversity.
let me tell you.
Let's talk about just talent for a second,
hang
like
on,
raw
let
talent.
Me. Here's my
Uh-oh.
top
Trigger.
movies. Hang on. Here's my top movies
Here
of
it
the year.
comes. Here it
And
comes.
let me tell you what they are and
Trigger
how
time.
they're different.
Trigger time. I want.
So
that
the
should be
Parasite,
like
the
a power
Parasite,
up.
the Parasite is probably the best movie of the year, and it was a Korean film.
How is that the best movie of the year?
It just is. It's amazing. And
By whose token? Who's saying it's the best
Look,
movie of the year?
it's on
But
it's
who?
on a best director, which is nice.
But what makes it the best movie?
But
Who's
it's not,
voting on
it's
that?
not for best picture, which I have
But
a
who's-
huge issue with.
But think about this though.
That
Who's,
deserves to be in the best picture.
you think
nominations.
that?
It does.
And really,
dude.
all these. That's
A
why
lot of
all this
critics
is
do,
bullshit.
too.
This is all bullshit.
Okay.
You know why?
The
Because
Farewell
really,
is also another one that's Asian American led.
all of these awards are all bullshit. Because you know what? Who should be voting? We should be voting. We should be voting with the money that we spend to buy tickets. And how many people went to go see it twice? You know what? Because if a movie's really fucking good, I'll spend the money twice to go see it. I will go to the theater. I will go with you to see The Irishman a second time. I didn't go with you, but I'll go with you a second time. You know why? Because it's that damn good. That makes it a motion picture that should be up for grabs.
Dude,
I
I'm not
don't want to
disputing
see.
that.
I
I'm
have
not
no
disputing
love
that.
to go see that other movie. I heard about that movie. I had no love for that.
Parasite? You don't want to see it?
Yeah, I don't want.
Dude,
I don't want to see
why,
it.
Why? It's a great film. It's better than The Irishman. I'm gonna say
What?
that.
Listen, but that's your perception, though. But
I've
what
seen
does that have to
both
do with
movies.
being?
You have movies. You can't say that, bro.
Okay, but like based on the coming attractions, I have no interest to see that. That's what I'm trying to
just,
tell
like,
you. The mass
short-minded,
appeal.
dude.
It's not
Dude,
short-sighted.
Back me up,
I-
people. Back me up, please.
Once Upon a
Please.
Time in Hollywood, seeing that was great. That was great.
It was good.
Of course,
It was pretty good.
right? But, I mean,
Except for that scene.
Rocket Man, I mean, now
actually, that you bring that up, I had an issue. You saw it. So, that scene with Bruce Lee, I had a huge. It made Bruce Lee look like a little bitch. Bruce Lee's a fucking badass.
yeah, but see, okay, so
and-
now
and
it's
Brad
not good
Pitt
enough.
Kicked his ass like it was nothing.
Now it's
I
not
have
good.
an issue
Now it's not
with
good
that.
enough. Now it's like, oh well, I like to see more of this, but I didn't like the way this was, because that's why all of this, everybody who thinks, well, first of all, like inclusivity in movies, there should be no such thing as inclusivity in movies. If you meet the part and you're telling a story, that whole inclusivity thing is bullshit, because everybody should be included.
Well,
right? So it's like if I wrote a story about an Italian American family that comes from over the boat and to Ellis Island and deals with all the bullshit.
Dude, that's perfect.
Okay,
you have that
but I put Italian Americans in
knowledge,
there. I'm not gonna cast.
You have that knowledge and perspective.
But
I'm saying like the stories that, and this goes into a whole another issue, but the stories that white people tell that, are appropriating certain cultures. Like
there's no such thing as appropriating culture.
Like they don't have that perspective, so they don't have the right to portray it.
Why don't you have the right? You have the right to story.
Movie,
you have the right to do anything you want.
You
have the right. You don't agree with it. You don't agree. You have the right. That appropriating thing is like like a joke.
They don't have the experience.
If I have so for instance, so now you just got me triggered. Now you open up a whole new can of worms. Okay, you know what? I like tacos. I love Mexican food. I love Mexicans. You know what? I want to wear a sombrero. Am I going to be appropriating because I want to wear a sombrero? If I'm at a festival and then the sombrero is like pulled out, I can't wear the sombrero because I don't want to. It's like you saying
no.
It's like no, it's bullshit, because it's like saying, you know what? Oh well, Italians own pizza and you're appropriating because you're eating pizza. It's bullshit, dude. All it is, you know what that is? That's a separatist, and I'm not saying that you are this. That's a separatist mentality. It's like we've got to put everything in a small box, and that's what it is. It's good, and the story is good, and
but
you need an Asian person, or you need an Italian, or you need a black person, or you
my
need
culture in the wrong way. I'm gonna be pissed about it, because that's
but you know what though? But that's my perception on your culture, and your culture the wrong way. I mean, like, everybody jumps from the culture bandwagon when it's an opportune for them, right? Everybody jumps in the culture bandwagon. It's like, oh yeah, that's my culture. Well, no, bro, you live in America. You were born and you live in America. You were born in America. You live in America. You eat the shitty American fast food. Your culture is this now. You could appreciate this. You could appreciate that, but that's not your culture. You're not. Are you cooking like native dishes from your? Because what are you again? You're Japanese and
Algerian.
And
that's
Algerian.
The thing. That's
are you
the
cooking
thing.
Algerian dishes? Are you cooking everybody in Algeria?
So
are you flying back every like 2 months?
Like I have knowledge from both of those cultures due to my parents and due to learning from them and eating meals that they've cooked, and so I am wrapped up in that culture.
All right, so
and
okay.
it is
awesome.
different. There was that whole thing with the I don't know if you saw a few years ago that what was it? The Chinese American film about the woman going back to for a wedding.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah, I can't believe I.
And you know what?
And you know what? For that film, like
everybody loved that film,
dude. The protagonist, the main character, was not familiar, and that's the exact thing I'm talking about.
And that was funded and created by Asians.
Yeah, and it's perfect because
Crazy Rich ones.
It incorporates the idea that, and I experienced this myself, that like you weren't born in that culture. Like she didn't grow up in China. She was very much like American, but like so you don't fit in either location. I don't fit in Japan because I. But
what is it to me? Why? But why is there such a?
And I don't fit in America.
But if you don't fit in, why? Then you should just exist. Then why? What is the necessary? What is the necessary?
Anytime. So when I first went to Japan, like I knew like a tiny bit of Japanese, but everyone started speaking to me in Japanese, thinking I was like a native person, where in reality I was an American that had a little bit of Japanese culture. And then the reverse is true. Like I'm in America, and then when I was growing up, I got this a lot. Just in the Midwest a lot too. No judgment on, but like it's like middle of America.
No judgment, but
no judgment for people there. But obviously, it's in middle America. You're gonna get ignorant people that are like,
dude. Okay,
so
let's reverse the roles. Let's reverse the roles for me. Now, for me
Yeah.
now. Okay, so for me, let's think about this for a second. Okay, so I had two situations. I went to Japan in 2008. I was there legally. I was visiting. I was paying homage to the Japanese culture. I was told I can't go into certain places. You know what the door guys told me? I'm sorry, Japanese only.
Well, dude,
Wait,
Japanese people love white people.
Okay,
first
no,
of all, 'cause,
no.
like, they love
They
Americans.
okay, they love Americans,
They American
but you know what?
culture,
They
like,
had the right.
love it.
They had the right to tell me, I'm sorry, this is only for Japanese people. Did I go on social media and cry about it? Did I go like, oh, this is unfair? No, because they wanted to have a very sacred way. I wasn't aware of their culture in this location and how they do stuff. They didn't want to educate me at the moment. Maybe I could have got in if I was with a Japanese kid, but they would not let me. This happened at 3 different places. 3 different places. I was not allowed in. They smiled at me like, oh, I'm sorry, Japanese only. Japanese only, bro.
What place were these?
These were in Tokyo, in Ikebukuro.
Wait, what? Like what?
This was
it?
like
A
bars, like special bars or whatever the case may be.
Really?
Like, yeah, this is like
pretty fucked
Japanese only. And you go there right now and you will get to certain places where it's Japanese only. And we don't even have that here in America. In America, you're allowed anywhere you want to go. Like, so for instance, here we go. We're going to throw another one out there. So in America, this was about 2.5 years ago. I was in a primarily Asian neighborhood, like Chinese neighborhood, Chinese Korean in LA. It's 3 a.m. I have a lot of my meetings late, and I had like a meeting that ran until like 1:30, and I was hungry. So I went to a restaurant that was open still. It was a Chinese restaurant. They served some slop, like the late night stir-fried slop.
Yum.
And yeah, it was delicious when you're starving, right? And I ate it, right? But I'm sorry. Before we'll roll back. So we go in. The place is bumping, right? It's 1:30 in the morning. There's 2 booths, right? There's one right here and then another one. I don't like to sit at chairs because like I'm always sitting in chairs. Like I need some back support. I need like lumbar support. So I always like to get the booth, right? So I'm sitting. So I'm standing, I'm waiting around. I'm like, hey, can I get that booth over there? They're like, he's looked at me that I was basically a white dude with another white dude. And I'm again, I mean, you want to call me a white dude, but I'm the farthest thing from what people would like want to call me white, but whatever, right? So they essentially tell me, he's like, oh, no, that's reserved. I'm like, reserved at 1:30 in the morning? And it was like 3 or 4 other Asian couples behind me. So I was looking at myself. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, what do you mean it's taken? I'm like, there's nobody there. There's nobody there at that one either. I'm like, he's like, oh, you can sit at that table if you want. But I don't want to sit at the table. I want to sit at the booth. I'll wait for the booth. Do you know? Because this is like straight up, bro. This happened to me. I was a little pissed off about this because it was just pretty blatant that he didn't want me to sit at the booth because he wanted to save it for other Asian people from the neighborhood. So I stood there, and then people started coming up behind me, right? They're like, oh, yeah, like, you next? I'm like, no, I'm waiting for the 2 booths. I'm like, they have reservations at 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, it's really busy here, so you got to get reservations. You're going to get a table. And then he saw me say that to them, and he knew that I was pissed off, so he had to walk them to the table, and he realized that I wasn't going to leave, and I pulled some Rosa Parks shit, dude, and I stood there.
Don't even say that.
No, I am going to say that because I stood there and I wasn't going to be angry about it, right? I stood there. I was like, I want that table. And my buddy wanted me to leave. I was like, I want that booth. And he's like, and he removes the sign. He's like, all right, you can sit down. After he knew that I wasn't going to leave. Because that was blatantly, he was saying for that. Because every single person was like, how come
Dude,
you're not.
cannot equate that to.
What?
To some Rosa Parks shit. Come on,
well,
bro.
listen, okay. I mean, it's on the same level. It's basically being told like you have to sit back here, you have to sit over here. I mean, okay, you don't want to get it as dynamic, but I'm saying that like, that's essentially the same level, is what I'm trying to get at. It's like if you're telling me that I can't do something, right? Because it's very obvious. You're saying there was no real reason whatsoever to tell me that. There was no real reason. And it's bullshit. And I called out his bullshit, and I ordered my food, and I was on my merry way. Now, I can get hurt about it, whatever, but you know what? That was their culture. I guess they wanted to sit other Asian people and whatever, and that's fine. I was a little offended. I will say that I had a right to be offended at that point. You know, listen, if you came into my pizzeria and you came in with a mustache and like, yeah, that's the matter for you, you know, and then like, you know, it's Halloween or whatever, and you're like, you know, fucking around, I'm like, whatever. But if you go ahead and you say, you know what, we got this fresh pizza here, but you no, we don't have that pizza to serve you. You got to eat that cold pizza from like 3 days ago. You know, it's growing some mold. That shit was fucked up. Would you not agree? So when I think about appropriation, you know, I'm like, it's really just me. It's me really being happy for you and trying to keep a spirit of life of maybe a lost culture or a lost thing. Listen, I'm Native American, Italian, and Peruvian, and my Italian roots stem in both central Italy, southern Italy, and as far as Sicily. All right, Sicily was conquered like a fucking 1,000 times over. I'm like 15 different motherfuckers, you know. So like, all I'm saying is that, you know, the whole let's all enjoy each other. Let's enjoy the culture. Let's enjoy this. We're not trying to put everybody in a box. If the movie's good and and the storyline requires X or Y, that's that person's telling of it. That's how they feel about it. Especially if they're Asian. That whole movie was fueled by it. That whole movie was paid for. And honestly, I was like, I don't want to see this movie. Crazy Rich Asians. I know a ton of them in real life. Good. I was like, why do I need to do that?
I'm praising that movie though.
But I understand that. But you know what? The whole appropriation thing, you're saying that. So back to spin it back, right? We're gonna spin it back to what you had mentioned. Is like you'd like to see more, you know, diversity in filmmaking. But like diversity in filmmaking depends upon
not just in front of the camera, behind the camera as well.
I mean, behind the camera, dude. I was on Netflix. They have a ton of
like
of
leading
Indian,
the movie, like
of
writers,
East Indian.
Writers and directors. Those are the people.
Dude,
that
did you see
write the
Netflix? A ton of
create
East Indian shows. A ton of East Indian stuff coming out. Then a pipe.
That's Netflix. It's not gonna.
Okay.
Win Best Picture.
Well,
like,
it doesn't make a difference
the
because
point of the Oscars is to recognize the best films of.
And maybe that
year.
doesn't meet.
And that's a marketing.
And
tactic,
guess what? And it goes to show you it's a corrupt system because it goes to show you it's a corrupt system because who's voting on it? Who's voting on it? We should be voting. We should be voting for it. Well, because it's a closed circuit. That's what I'm saying. All
Old
these Golden Globes, this awards, AMA, all whatever, you know, whatever award, it's all closed circuit. It's whoever's greasing anybody's hand, whoever's got like some backdoor deal. The people who should be voting on this shit is us. There should be like the Gong Show and shit. Like we should be like voting. Like, hey, listen, you want to vote on the next? You know,
the music has like the the AMAs. I think are voted on by.
I don't even know anymore, dude. Like, it's so blurred. Like, nobody even pays attention. They're like, oh, it's coming on because they just want to see the famous people.
I'm going to put a pin in this.
Oh, put a pin. I love that term.
We're at an hour already, so let's move on.
You know what oh, no. You know what I'm going to put in this? Hold on. I told everybody I was going to open this coconut. I'm going to try to open this coconut. Right here. So, this is a fresh coconut. I'm not appropriating by drinking coconuts. Anybody who wholly eats coconut in Thailand, you know, because there's not too many coconuts.
You can't eat that coconut. It's not your culture.
It's not my culture. Yeah, I'm appropriating this coconut here. I don't know how to really. I think you're supposed to get an X, and Oh, my life.
I think you're doing it wrong.
It's intense.
Is that really how you do it?
I don't really know how I do it.
Don't you just cut off the top, like from the side though? Yeah.
Is that how it? All right, here we go. I don't know.
Don't slice your finger off.
Yeah. Don't try this at home, kids. If anybody's watching this, don't try this at home. I mean, try this somewhere else. I don't know if.
Yeah, I think you maybe make 2 little wedges on each side.
I think that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to hack it. Look at
But
this.
now it's gonna fucking
It's everywhere, dude.
splurge out
No, the coconut juice is
like I did last night.
coconut water. I mean, they call it coconut water or juice. I don't know. It's just fucking delicious. Look at this. Oh, dude, these guys in other countries, they're beasts. When you like go on holiday, and you like open up your coconut. Oh, look, I don't. I'm determined.
Wow, you're making a mess there, aren't you?
I know. Well, it's too late.
You want me to help you?
We're past the point of no return. We gotta open the coconut.
It's a fake coconut.
Dude, it's a
There's
real
nothing in
coconut.
it.
That's how you can tell this is real. Look at this mess, dude. This is hard.
Just take an axe
wow.
to that thing.
Dude, this.
Dude,
look at this.
Is there
Look
a
at-
hole? Did
No,
you make a hole?
no, I didn't make a hole yet. Look at this. This is like some kind of rind.
You should get a straw. I feel like that would be
Oh, I
easier
will.
for
I
you to-
will. I'm gonna get, but I gotta. Oh shit! This is intense, dude. Dude, I'm like, there's like shit flying across the studio.
This is fascinating.
I'm
I'm sure people are
This is
are
not
loving
easy,
this
dude.
right now.
What?
I'm sure people are loving this right now.
Dude, this is hard. This is not easy. I'm gonna have to vacuum all this up, but I'm gonna. Dude, hold on. What do I get like a
Let
power
me,
tool
let
for
me
this?
see if we got any comments. What'd you say?
Do I get a power tool for this? How does this work? Do I have to?
I don't know, dude.
This is harder
This
than.
computer is still struggling with streaming. Might be the internet.
What?
It
For-
still has like one bar.
All right, 4G, 5G, dude. I can't do this. Hold on a second.
Is it like not ending?
Hold on. This is getting it. See, in life, let me just tell you something. I'm a very determined individual. When things don't work, and you try it another way. That's the digital marketing way. You know what I do? Hold on a second. I'm gonna find something to puncture that thing. I'm gonna find it.
Okay. So, how's everyone doing?
Is everybody out there?
We got 2 people watching.
Okay. So this is difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Do we have a screwdriver?
Please, if you're watching, I'd love to hear your best films of the year.
I would love
I'll
to
tell you
find out
mine.
how everybody opens
I'll
a
tell
coconut.
you mine.
Can we ask everybody how I open a coconut?
I'll let you do that, and
I don't.
yeah, I'll let you know if anyone
Hold on.
comments
I'm
on
just gonna smack
what's
it
the
with
best
this.
way to open a coconut. I would say, so here's my
Oh.
top 5. I'll go with
Oh,
top 5
here you go.
movies.
So intense.
Number 1, Parasite, as I mentioned. It's a great film about conning
here
and
you go,
the
here you
Korean
go.
culture. I learned a lot, and the acting is phenomenal. What's his name? Bong Joon-ho is just a masterful director. If you've
Oh.
seen any of his movies, what was it, Okja?
Ugh, dude.
What that horror movie? I forget. Oh, The Host.
All right.
Number 2
I did it.
would be,
I did it. I did it.
I'm gonna say Jojo Rabbit.
You hear
Number
what I
3,
said?
The Lighthouse.
Did you hear what I said? I did it.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
I did
So
it.
we're back?
I got a small little hole. This is really difficult because I don't want to like keep doing this for the next 15. I'm gonna just get one of those cool metal straws. I think I have a metal or a bamboo straw. Hold on.
Okay. I'll continue with my list. So, Jojo Rabbit, number 2. Again, directed by, and starring, I guess, Taika Waititi. Not starring, but he's a role. He plays the Hitler, an imaginary friend of a young boy in Nazi Germany. Sort of a comedic take, but it's also not over the top in terms of making light of anything, you know, that happened in World War II and Holocaust. But it was a great movie. It had heart to it. There's a message to it. Loved it. Lighthouse #3. Amazing sort of trippy film about just sort of living on the island. Highly recommend that. Not a lot of people have seen it. I haven't really seen it got any love,
dude.
But
it's so good.
did you finally do it?
Let me just tell you something. Okay. So on a health perspective, so I had to use 3 different tools. I had to use this cleaver-like thing, and I had to use this very unorthodox tin snips to smack a hole in the top of it after I cut off like the fiber stuff. But yeah, man. So I drink coconut water, usually from the can. Cans don't taste. I mean, one's got that little canny taste to it, and then the second thing is like all of the stuff is pasteurized. In order to ship it outside of its organic form, good old organic form, all of it has to be pasteurized. I don't care what you do. If you're putting it in a can, it's pasteurized, so it's boiled out. And the flavor is usually like put back into it, and then like any nutrients, it's really just not as good for you as a physical, delicious, fresh coconut. I mean, dude, this is so good. And then like at this middle straw here, just for effect.
Is it? I feel like it's just bland.
Oh no, coconut, dude. This is actually the highest form of potassium, like aqueous potassium you can get. This is really good if you're been being hungover. This is really good for recovery. In heavy duty workouts, and then of course, you know, just overall like health, like people think they drink like Gatorade. Oh yeah, Gatorade. No, go eat yourself a fucking coconut, and 1,000 times better than like some syrup thrown into a. And you get to eat all the cool pieces too. Those are straight up. So. Very happy with my coconut. I'm gonna put it over there, but it's definitely a bit messy.
So
I'm not gonna lie.
Let's get to some.
Wow, look at this mess.
Let's get to the rest of our agenda. So Black Friday fights.
Black Friday fights. Okay, so I sent you a video, real quick. So this is the beginning of this portion of this video is really funny. It's basically a Target manager mentally preparing everybody else for the Black Friday chaos that's gonna unfold.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, it says it's a YouTube link right before after the title. There's a YouTube link. See that?
Skip lag.
Yeah, after that.
And then it's intro track.
Oh, okay. Never know. But before that, then.
I don't see it. I don't think you sent it to me.
Oh, let me double check. Let me double check. This is it. Here, I'll send it to you. Oh, what if you could? Here you go. Here it is, my friend. Here it is. Here we go. Wow, look at this. There's coconut everywhere. At least you know it's real. Real life coconut. Real live. Get it? Live coconut. Here it comes. Here it is.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh, wait. I think I saw something like that last year, too. Yeah. I've seen this last year. It was cooler last year because it was like an old Irish guy or something like that.
That guy's not old.
It was like a Game of Thrones type like speech. This is a copy. Sparta. Oh,
The-
this is a compilation. What?
So look at all these people like going at it. This is like consistent. You know, it's funny. I actually started a few years ago. I did like a site called Black Friday Fights because for years I was in retail and I literally had seen so many fights, dude. Like people got stabbed for PlayStation 2s. People trying to like look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
I don't.
Up. There she
So,
goes.
dude. The
There she-
deals are online. Like, why? Is it just the?
Oh, there she goes.
event
She's
of
grabbing the shark. Oh,
Is this the event?
shark
of it?
bite. What?
Or is this like people actually want these deals? Like, I don't think
Yeah,
they
they're
realize
like,
that.
but they do have some in-store deals because you know what, the stores, they want you to get like crazy for that shit. They want you to deal with that.
Why do people put
Is it-
themselves through this? I don't get it.
There's like it's like some shitty vacuum cleaner.
Like, I don't get it. Like,
It's-
some people have a family event out of this
Yeah,
whole thing.
dude. I stay away from this whole bullshit. This shit's crazy, man. I don't even understand it.
Like, let's talk about yeah. I mean,
Look at that.
this is every year.
So
man.
hopefully
But-
anybody's watching like didn't have to deal with that.
I guess you know.
What is your time
retail,
worth, really?
Retail is still, big on certain days. But let's talk about like brick and mortar in general.
Well, brick and mortar.
'Cause, like,
mean,
I remember you saying when you went to Fry's, like it was like a fucking desert.
it's where?
Fry's.
Oh, Fry's is done.
Yeah.
Fry's is done. I made a post about this. I don't know if anybody watched it, but if you look at Fry's, they have
I guess I see why.
they go to the store. They don't have any inventory. I got some coconut here.
I see why they put the in-store deals on because they need just people.
Dude, they just do it to get people in
need
the
people
door
in
to
the
like have
doors.
chaos. This is like the best press for them in existence.
Yep. And that's why they do those speeches like that.
I like how they
you
censored
saying?
it before they uploaded it.
Also, I just have to side note, like, when you're filming something like this, like, film sideways, please. This is really hard for me to watch.
Happy Walmart. I love everybody's in a yellow costume.
Just turn the camera. How hard is it? Go like this, huh?
Look,
I guess maybe Instagram, but not for YouTube, man.
which is what? How hard is what?
How hard is it to turn the camera?
Oh well,
You get
It's
the
pretty
blurry
intense.
double,
Well,
the double.
it's hard to
layered,
turn it when you
blurry
got
background.
when you
like,
got
fuck
all this
that.
going on.
Yeah,
Look at that.
bro, just sideways.
That's
If you're gonna
intense,
post on
man.
YouTube,
You're in like
sideways, man.
like that movie. What was that movie? That Japanese movie where the kids like get thrown on that plant and they blow each other up. Oh man, it was-
What?
oh, I forgot the name of it. Look at this. This is what a bargain. What a bargain. Some intense bargains, folks.
At least they filmed in the correct profile.
Oh, you're correct. Do you want to comment and be like, listen, guys, if you're gonna showcase Black Friday fights,
This woman
At
that she's
least
filming
make
in
sure
front
it's
of
in the
her
proper
is
profile.
Not doing it right though. Looks like a.
does that guy work there? Because he's wearing a yellow shirt. He just happens to have a yellow shirt.
Honestly, I can't even hear what they're.
Yeah, he just
arguing
gets
about.
crazy. It's hurting my brain. It's hurting my
Is
brain.
this on Black Friday? Like, I feel like people are just ordering regular shit.
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, how much specials on really? Like some shitty. There's like never anything really good, and it's always like, did you see the brand of TV, Hisense?
I
Is it-
love that. I love when when people just clap in your face. That's the best ignoring tactic.
Oh,
The
there
guy's
he
smart.
is.
The guy's smart. except for the fact that it's vertical.
Chad. This is, and this is why, my friends, I paid for the juice. But the question
that's
is
racism.
where's the gin?
That's racism.
Where's the gin?
Dude, that's racism, man.
He's being
Dude.
trespassed?
I gotta give that guy. Unless there's something that I'm not.
I don't even, you don't see, only see half of it. It's like, you have, it's just so random.
I would
so,
do the same thing, honestly.
so horrible.
I would.
This is why, honestly, this is why
when you bring
e-commerce
out
is your
the
friend.
camera, like people.
What?
People get shy when you bring out the camera because they're afraid that whatever they say is going to be used against them.
It's like, I don't even understand what's going on here, really. It's, these fights aren't, you know what? I think they're trying to fight less now compared to a few years ago. Notice they're all in Walmart, too? What's up with the Walmart crowd? Isn't there a site about the
Dude,
Walmart?
I don't have a Walmart near me, so.
The Walmarts are, we know Walmarts are like the, outside of like Amazon's like one of the top grossing like retail outlets in the world. It's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
So what's your spiel on brick and
I don't know.
mortar?
I just thought like it's. I just want, you know. I can't watch anymore. This is just like gratuitous and frustrating.
Do you want to turn this into a conversation about brick and mortar?
Well,
stores?
yeah, real simple.
I find it
Buy
pretty.
shit online. You know what I'm saying?
Like, is there a reason?
There's no
to go
reason
to
because you know what? The
brick and
e-commerce
mortar.
plays, dude. First of all, for the holidays, you should buy your shit. Okay, so you know that I'm all about business. I'm all about value. I'm all about, you know, making money and saving money and like optimizing your life. So you should technically, okay? You should technically not even buy your Christmas gifts. Like, if you don't have the money, this is obviously for next year. Go buy your shit after Christmas. Dude, the clearance prices, everything's about 30 to 45% less after Christmas. 30 to 40. I've seen stores just clear shit out, dude. They just want space. 30 to 45%. And that goes for online, too. 30 to 45%. You know what? Buy some shit less this year and then give better Christmas gifts next year. And just fucking pack it away. Pack it away in, pack it away in your closet.
Or
storage.
Gift certificate for the day after Christmas.
Well, the gift certificate can only give you so much money because it's a static value, right? But if you buy like the stuff you think that because literally whatever you're going to give as a gift this year, I would take it as next year too. If you're going to give me a gift, man, Hakeem, if you're going to give me a gift,
I will.
Okay, you know what? Hold on to it for next year, or give me the two that you were going to give me, and give me one, and then let's hold on to the next year. Because really,
what if it's something that can't be bought?
Oh, it can't be bought. Well, then you just tell me about it. It's not a big deal.
So
but
here's a Or are you gonna?
No. I just think that honestly, like that there's people just, I can't believe it's still a thing today, and people are still beating the shit out of each other for some aftermarket LCD.
When you go gift shopping online, I'm assuming like what's your type of gift?
So I do two types of gift shopping. I do the gift shop, like I said, I so for sometimes when I find out the last minute thing, I like to go at the last minute, but I like to do it like literally like the night before Christmas Eve, and I'll just walk around.
A lot of people go.
I walk around, but I try to find the stores that open really late, and I just use it as like a thinking thing, and I literally go at like 1 a.m.
Some people call that lazy. Some people call that.
I call that like clarity, because I don't want to walk around with everybody else, so I have that clarity at about 1 a.m. and I just go watch. I go watch shopping.
I like going for the non-traditional.
You know, and then usually what I'll do is I'll also buy this year after after Christmas for next year, and I'll just put it away. And I don't. And I also honestly like if I find something cool throughout the year that most people wouldn't even think about, I'll just save
I'll
it.
sometimes do like a trend thing. Because now they have the 23andMe packets. I thought that was. I think I'm gonna try to do that for at least one member of my family. They have those something health related. You know, I feel like putting my family members or friends onto, something health related that they probably normally wouldn't go out of their way to do. I think is or something.
Oh, you mean you don't want to get them a high-sense LED TV for like $75, even though it's worth like $95, and you really only saved $20, and they made it look like you saved $120.
Nah.
You don't want a Shark vacuum when you can get yourself a Dyson instead.
Now that you say that,
you don't want to do that.
Maybe.
Interesting.
The fact that has shark in it.
It's a shark. It's like going into shark-infested waters. I think I'd rather actually go swim. As crazy as this fucking sounds, I'd rather go swim with sharks. All right, go swim with the sharks than go into a Walmart on Black Friday. I would do
the
that.
Same thing. Right?
Yeah, but you know what? I bet the sharks would treat me nicer. They'd be like, "Oh, we don't want to eat that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going around him." So speaking of going around stuff, so the next thing is some travel hacks.
Travel hacks, yeah, it's the last thing on the docket.
So, as you know, around this time of year, it's very stressful, dude. Like, if you let it happen, you could totally get stressed out. And the last thing that the holiday should be about is about being stressed out. And really, you have most control over that than anybody else. You have the control to whether or not you want to stress. And, I see my family. I try to see my family, a few times a year, specifically before the holidays. And I go before the 15th. As long as you can travel before the 15th, you're going to get a great deal on anywhere within the country. But as soon as the 15th hits, it's just like they jack the prices up hard. So the optimal time, so I do a lot of traveling, so I just want to kind of give you guys a takeaway here. So traveling, if you ever book flights, you want to book a flight minimum on average, the variance time is about 3 to 3.5 weeks. If you can book a travel anyway 3.5 weeks, maybe a month out. You don't have to do it 6, 7, 8 months out. You can do it like a 3.5 weeks, a month out. That is the opportune time because one, if they can't fill flights around the holidays, they can. But if they can't fill flights, they will essentially run specials, and you won't know it. And then you're just like, oh shit, like they're just trying to get rid of the seats. And then, so again, you always want to use about 3.5 weeks out. That's the prime time to book any type of travel, okay, and especially flights. Never get the extended leg room. It's all bullshit. It's just like
you sent me this.
Yeah. So
site.
skip leg. So the other thing too. So this is the big hack. So there's a service out there, and it's a terminology actually. So they created a service around the terminology, and it's called skip legged. And what that is that basically, you know how, like, if you book, let's say I book a flight, a connecting flight, right? Let's say I want to go I really want to go, I want to go to Texas, right? But there's a flight from California, from LAX, that stops, the layovers in Texas, and then goes to New York. Believe it or not, sometimes those flights are actually cheaper. Those flights are cheaper, okay?
Yeah.
So they don't like you to do this. So basically what you do is you find the flights based on the layovers where you want to go, and you jump ship at the layover. And that's called a skip leg flight. So like for instance, let's just say there's a flight that usually costs $600. You could do this internationally too, but I wouldn't check. You can't check bags though. That's the thing. You cannot check bags. So if you check bags, if you take a small carry-on or 2 small carry-ons, that's one thing. But if you check bags, your shit's going to end up in another state. It's going to end up somewhere else. So if you go into, let's say, Canada, right?
I never check bags anyways.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you do have to check, this is not ideal for families, but if you're 1 or 2 people, if you're traveling with you and a friend and you just go, you can literally save anywhere between 50 to 65, even as much as 70% on a flight ticket. So if you see a flight ticket that's like $700, $600 round
Dude,
trip,
I'm gonna check this out.
yeah, there's an app. It's a really good app. I actually, there's a site here, but I actually do. I use the app because the app for iOS is better because it's just ease of use. It's just really fast. I can just check out stuff, but it gives you a variance too. Like you'll see like on the app, you'll actually see like the price points over over the course of like a month or two. Like, oh, this is the high price, that's the low price, and it'll show you those they call in Skip Light, they call it hidden cities. So the hidden cities are really where you want to go. They're your destination where you want to go. But you got to jump ship at the layover and take your shit and peace out. Now, if you get caught doing it too much and you get on that crazy list, maybe they're not going to let you purchase tickets anymore because they don't like you doing it. It's really, really like frowned upon on a.
That's why I don't. It doesn't say that specifically on here, right?
What doesn't say specifically? What do you mean?
It doesn't say, jump ship.
Well,
or anything like that at the.
No, but
it
that's
just says like low rates and.
No, it says, what does it say
flights,
there?
Best hotels.
The cheapest regular flights, finds the best rates, access the best deals.
It doesn't say how it's giving you.
Well,
that.
Okay, so that's a special function in this site. So originally they started out as just that, and they kind of became like this gateway for like an affiliate partner, like an Expedia type of thing. But they still show you the skip lag. They still show you the hidden cities. So they'll show you the deals, the lowest prices for wherever you want to go based on the airline. So like, let's just say, so go to Washington D.C. from LAX. Now layover duration. Scroll down. See, it says hidden city. See, scroll up to the left. Now uncheck standard. Uncheck standard. Yeah, uncheck standard. And then that's where you go. You see how it says it's crossed out Atlanta? Yeah. So those are the prices. Now sometimes they're actually not cheaper, but they're gonna show it to you anyway. But sometimes when you're going internationally, dude, there was like some tickets.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, but you're getting on a continental flight.
Wow. Wait, I just bought my ticket to Minnesota and it was like $500. I probably shouldn't have. Here, let me see.
Yeah, so
see if I can. Especially during Christmas time.
You can't cancel it. Oh, as I was saying, like you're too late. You're booking too late.
Yeah.
So search flights. Here you go. It says enter a valid return date.
Let's just say 30th.
And you get to search the flights. And sometimes some of them don't have hidden cities. So uncheck standard. And
yeah, it's still pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. Around this time of year, it's not. Depending on where you're going, it's not the greatest.
Round trip or?
I think that's round trip.
One trip.
Actually, if you click, you have all the filters to the left, so you can kind of see how many stops. But yeah, why would you pay one way or round trip?
Round trip, like 500.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got a round trip ticket. I bought it again about a month ago. I got a round trip ticket to New York, dude. $350.
You got it for
$350 round trip
for Christmas time.
No, well, you're going different time. No, I'm leaving tonight.
Right.
I'm going for a handful of days.
But you bought it a few. What did you say?
I bought it more. I bought it about a month ago, 3.5 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
About 4 weeks. But that's the time frame you want.
Is it true that generally the cities are cheaper just because it's they're gonna go there?
Yeah, the bigger airports are slightly cheaper, but you deal with more hassle. But I'm saying these are just small hacks that kind of thrown out there for you guys.
Any other travel tips?
Yeah, dude. 4 weeks minimum. Don't pay for the extra leg room. It's bullshit.
Carry-on bags.
Don't pay.
Can I recommend a bag actually that I really? Well, I guess it's different for me because like I like to bring my cameras, and there's this great bag, that's a camera bag, but you can also put a laptop in it and toiletries and that's literally all, like I don't even need to carry another laptop bag. It's it's all in one.
Do you feel good when you get deals? When you hold on, which side is there a proper side to wear the tail of the
No.
hat? Does it go on the right?
No.
Does it go on the left? Does it swing to
I
the
should have
back?
brought my
Like, is there a way? Is there something you're supposed to do?
my
Like to the left?
my blazer,
Yeah. I don't know.
the fucking toucan blazer that I got last year in New York.
Oh yeah, you love that.
Remember that?
That's a great. Are you gonna rock that on the way back home, back to
Yeah.
the homestead? You should
Whoa.
bring it with.
You're like right in my shot right now.
You should what? You should bring it back. What are you doing?
Punching you in the head.
I'm just like, but
Here,
are you,
let me see.
is it hitting this
hang
though?
on, hang
You
on.
gotta hit
Chroma,
this. That should be the
chroma.
target.
Look at that.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. But the prices are
Should we just
delightful.
Do like this.
And this looks like some like late 1980s, early 90s effects, where like things just fade in and fade out. See, this is
I'm
kind
ready
of
to get
fun we
high.
have
I'm ready to get
for the-
high right
for
now.
the holidays. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is our get it
Wow,
today.
We're at 136.
So hopefully you
I should get better at keeping time.
So hopefully you've learned something. Maybe your brain hurts now. Maybe you know about the travel hacks like the skip leg, the hidden cities, the best time to buy flight tickets. If you guys haven't already, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you happen to be on another platform, like it and subscribe somehow. And there's so many different ways now. Subscribes and likes and joins and follows and all kinds of crazy shit. So like if you guys can do that, that'd be awesome. You'll get notified next time we come out with some another great episode. We'll probably see you guys before the beginning of the new year again. A lot of interesting stuff going on. And as always, you know, this again, we're brought to you guys by our hard work. So if there's something you want us to talk about, feel free to drop some in the comments. What do you guys feel passionate about? We talk about business, life, all the goodness that comes around everyday life without the nonsense. All right. And if there is nonsense, then I'm gonna squash it out. In the meantime, happy holidays. Drop it, drop it. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Drop. Oh, well,
I thought it was
the break, the break.
Oh, yeah.
Here it goes. Here it goes. You guys can see me in the dance floor at a local D&B show near you. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. In the meantime, go get what you gotta get. Peace. Get it.